never got last split after being undefeated on it for the first few weeks.
Yeah, they will go with the Viego, like you said, and we mentioned it a little bit earlier. SOFM has had, I think, about 10 games, if not more, so far
10.
this split. It's absurd the amount of times he's played this champion, and he's just super comfortable on it. I love the Jax ban as well from the side of Weibo, because they're saying, look, we know what we can give the Shy. Yes, the Gwen is something that he is incredibly prolific on, and you need to be wary of that. But the Kayle, the Jax is fantastic into the Kayle pick early on, before obviously she hits level 16. So this is kind of telegraphing to me how they want to end up playing the game. And for top Esports, they're going to go to Renata. I don't believe Bel'Veth is enabled so far, so I don't think TN's going to be able to go for it.
I don't think so either. To my knowledge,
watch us be wrong. He picks it. We're like scrambling for notes.
Look, if that happened, we would be in trouble. But I'm most positive, not enabled yet. Lee Sin is going to come through for TN. Signature TN pick coming through, which, I mean, surprisingly, he's actually only played it once so far this split. He's really liked to lean on the Trundle, but going to give them some strong setup towards mid, depending on what Knight picks up. But, you could always rely on Knight to come out with one of those strong picks in terms of enabling his jungler. We've talked about the Shy's Kayle so much. He just seems so comfortable in terms of playing out this lane in top side and then scaling up to, have options, right? Because Kayle, you will win out in sides, but you also are an incredibly strong team fighter who also offers some peel with your ult. So definitely some versatility. Seems like they're all leaning on a style to dive backline, considering they've now put Angel on the Lissandra pick.
Yeah, and they're obviously moving Huanfeng down the list as well. That bot lane is very much kind of saying, like, whatever, we don't really care. I will say that Sejuani is a nice little pickup here for the side of top Esports, gives him a good front line. Also, the Shy was solo killed as Mordekaiser by a Sejuani in one of his most recent series, so definitely hopeful if you're a Weibo gaming fan that he's learned the trading patterns against that particular champion.
Yeah, and we've seen Wayward completely dominate on Sejuani as well. I mean, Sejuani just seems like such a strong laner against like the matchups you're willing to pick her into, the Kales, the other tank matchups, things like the Ornn to come through. You know you're going to take the Ignite as well. So for TS, I mean, we're already kind of setting up that Wayward's going to want to look for some of that aggression, and he's definitely going to be finding it this time around. 80 carry bands coming on through, TS taking away the Ezreal. And right, both teams wanting to look towards 80 carries. We hit on Jackila versus Huanfeng. Feels like it will be the most important matchup. Aphelios still being open is what jumps out to me for the side of TS, especially considering how much prio we've had on it throughout the day. Last series, it was pretty much the go-to 80 carry every single time.
Yeah, really, really was. I find it very interesting as well. Weibo were kind of saying, look, we're kind of happy if you want to go Kalista Renata. That's the feeling I'm getting right now. They want to try and limit the things that can roam with or deal with the Lissandra. So like you mentioned, the Galio being banned away. Would not be surprised maybe even to see the Talia maybe. We've seen Knight do exceptional things with that so far this split. So things that can kind of roam with and have a high impact in those side lanes are kind of the way you would end up kind of following in the same line as a Lissandra. But the Rakan banned away, the Rai is going to be there. So it does a similar thing, but top Esports, they've got plenty of options here. And honestly, they've kind of left the bot lane open. I feel like right now you want to be locking in your mid lane, maybe even leave Lady Carry for last pick to try and get that bot lane wherever you want it to be.
I feel like you could either go towards like Aphelios plus maybe like a long-range control mage like Victor as your last two picks and then play out from a range and have like the turn potential from Sejuani. Or you could go, like you said, I mean, if you want to go aggressive, things like the Kalista are there, and you could opt into what in my mind would be like a subpar lane matchup or something like a Talia, which, I mean, you could go toe-to-toe with the Lissandra and be fine, but so far the Aphelios is going to be what comes through, so I feel like that gives TS a lot more options in terms of what fits in their composition in the mid lane, because pretty much any long-range control mage will fit, give them that range advantage, be able to kite back, peel, and just set up for Jackila to be a huge carry.
Well, as you mentioned, the Aphelios, he does get locked in. That's going to be a big carry there. The Kalista going to be locked in here now for Huanfeng. So giving them a little bit of early agency as well. Combo that in with the Nautilus. A lot of hard engage coming out here from Weibo on the bot side, and kind of saying comboing that up, that kind of three-man combination, of course, with the Lissandra, the Viego, and the Nautilus. They've got a lot of ways to kind of set themselves up if they do find themselves an opportunity to catch Jackie Love out.
Yeah, and I assume that's what's going to be locked in as it is now. Still hoping for my own game of a Mumu, because I have not yet gotten one. And now for Knight, I mean, we hit on the Victor, we've hit on Talia being something that is there as well, and kind of just scrolling through his options, I really feel like a lot of these would fit the comp quite well in terms of just being able to synergize. Ooh, that would be cool. That would be a fun one, considering for Weibo. Weibo's comp really short range, wanting to come in, but no more Swains. I still see Swain in other regions. But sadly, Sheen, Swain kind of falling off here.
They're not World Championship or MSI champion regions, are they? So there you go. That's your answer. That's your answer, Lyric.
If we're talking about ever, yes.
Yeah,
but...
ever, obviously, that's fine. Well, except for NA. But, you know, it's kind of like for us, right now, reigning world and MSI champions, we don't believe in the Swain. Do believe in Attilia. I mentioned a little bit earlier about Knight. Knight has had exceptional performances on this pick, and it does open up to roam alongside the Lissandra with that Weaver's Wall. You're able to put yourself in very good positions. And also just even things like having the W to be able to put down and kind of say, stop a Nautilus from going in on top of you. You've, of course, got the dashes from the Viego as well. You can do an awful lot of damage while also stunning people when they're trying to get onto primary targets.
Yeah, right, and just fits the comp well because we're playing kind of kite back. We're playing from a range. You have the Renata ultimate. You now have all the abilities from Talia setting up for Jackie Love to be able to play safely. And then even Sejuani, you're an engaged champion, right? But even just throwing out your ult to like dissuade the enemy from coming in or locking someone down while they're looking for the engage works. So I feel like TS having some flexibility with their comp in terms of like they have range advantage. They know they're going to scale extremely well. Both Talia and Aphelios scaling incredibly well. And then they have the turn potential from the Sejuani for where I feel like Weibo are a lot more shoehorned in terms of like we need to see action. They have Alessandra, they have Callista, their damage later isn't going to be the most insane. We'll still be fine, especially considering they have the Kale up in the top side. But a lot of their champions really only have one button, and it is like, go forward, go in, find these picks. And a lot of it going to be down towards that bottom side. So the 80 carry matchup we highlighted going to be incredibly relevant.
Incredibly relevant indeed. We are going to jump onto the Rift. It is game one of this best of three. Our match of the week. Weibo Gaming up against Top Esports. A battle of the mojo. I'm hoping for an absolute fiesta right now. I'm hoping for both teams to be locking horns from level 1. But the level 1 is just to cover up any other entrances into your own jungle. It's a little sad. It's a little passive.
Yep, the normal... Actually, it's not the normal 5-point coming through for the side of Weibo as we see their bot lane kind of positioning aggressive. Oh,
Jackie Lowe doesn't see him, and he's very close. He's going to have to try and flash this one. Gets caught out here. Mark is around the corner, but Mark's been cut off by Angel. There's going to be the cleanse coming out to stop the ignite and the flash. Jackie Lowe will survive, but he loses a hell of a lot.
And when we've hit on Weibo wanting to find these early game advantages, that is huge. Jackie Love, no summoners at all. One hook from on, and I mean, he should just go down. And this sets up so easily for SOFM to want to commit to putting resources down into the spot side. He's going to start off on his red buff, but still, we'll be able to find initiative on making it down here. And now, Onfong and On gonna try and be a little bit cheeky.
I mean, you can be cheeky here because the Viego's totally safe and fine to do this. And Mark, you may lose your summoners too here, buddy. On's going to look for the hook. He's not going to find it. Mark, he baited him. He baited him out and said, I'm walking forward. Never mind. I'm not going to go for it. And actually, 2 minions missed there by Huanfeng. I will say, though, the experience lead still goes over to the side of Weibo. They're still feeling good about that particular trade.
Oh, of course. Weibo are doing great. I mean, you can see now Pink's coming out onto TN. They know exactly where he is because they spotted him doing his Gromp and now making his way over to his Wolf. So full information advantage to the side of Weibo. Just overall early game coming out strong, and they're still playing to capitalize on the flash that they blew earlier on. To where for the side of TS, you can already see them ankling up towards the top side, right? Knight just put up his ward towards top. Wayward already having his ward down. And we hit on some of the aggression able to come out from the Sejuani in that top side matchup. So might be getting a bit of a cross map in this game.
Bit of a cross map. Both junglers will be on the top side, though, as On. You still need to be careful. You got a lot of very good damage available to you as the Aphelios and the Renata combination. Of course, her passive giving you that extra little bit of damage on the things that she has already auto-attacked. So, good combination there if you end up using it properly. But for SOFM, where do we want to see him focus? Obviously, the bot lane is a big key focus for them. Very difficult to really catch on to the Aphelios and Renata when they're this far behind their turret.
Yeah, I feel like bot's just the answer because when we see like mid having prio for Knight, the fact that you're like Sejuani, Lee Sin, Talia, strong early skirmishers up against like a Kale on the opposing side, I feel like for SOFM it would really just be a lot better to put all of your eggs into the bot lane basket, give them vision, look to counter jungle, look to invade on the respawns. That would do them quite well. To where for TN, this is what you want to see, right? You want to see them playing up towards top side. SOFM probably pathing up here now, look to cover the Shy on his first wave, and then he can start pivoting down towards bot.
Or is he? Tien was thinking about it, but that wave hasn't crashed just yet. Now Tien gonna go forward with Wayward. Remember, Wayward takes the ignite on the Sejuani. They will flash away. The Shy actually stops his momentum backwards because they feel like they can maybe turn this one back in their favor. They'll get the root down as Wayward now has to go into full retreat. It's a little bit tentative. No one's gone down just yet, but again, Summoner's being burned left, right, and center. You can see the power of the skirmishes. We're not done just yet. They re-engage. The ignite goes down onto the Shy, but that's not really the target that's going to be going down just yet. You can see SOFM just staying in front of him, but never mind. The Sonic Wave lands. He won't take it in just yet. He holds his trigger finger, and we can breathe for another moment.
Yeah, so SOFM pathing towards top, expecting the aggression to come out, covers his top laner. Again, you're not really necessarily looking too much to be like the aggressor looking for a huge win yourself. You have done your job, the Shy. Huge CS lead so far. Now you're synchronizing recalls with your bottom lane as well. You're going to naturally path towards your bot lane because that's where your camps are respawning, and sets him up to be able to play around that half of the map, especially with Dragon coming up in 20 seconds. So SOFM so far, really nice being able to cover the Shy. It's should we said for so long for SOFM, his big problem was really linking up with his laners, playing for his laners, covering for his lanes. The fact that this split, he's just been doing so much better at that, I feel like it's just a huge accomplishment.
Very big accomplishment. And I will note, we did see in the picture-in-picture, actually Mark losing his flash in that bot side. The power of a Kalista Nautilus, just a pure DPS that can get down alongside that CC has to be respected. It's not eking out into a major advantage, but definitely enough to see Weibo maybe have priority over this first Drake. And already you can see the Viego hovering around that area saying, look, there's a freeze going up in top side. We're not going to be really under that much pressure. And we have the push in bot.
Yeah, they have absolutely everything, which sets them up to be able to take this crab. They could even probably just look to transition to an early Drake if they want to. They might not go for the risk, as we see SOFM looking to potentially head towards mid first to look for a bit of a gank. Because Angel just hit level 6, so CC now on lock for Weibo. Very strong mid jungle be able to come out with that CC involved.
Gotta give props there to Wayward. He actually stopped the wave at a really awkward position for the Shy. I really like to see top laners being smart about it and kind of making sure that they're giving themselves as much of an optimal setup. I will say, once he's able to get that Glacial Prison, you have to be very, very careful in this matchup as the Shy, because if he lands that, they might just try and put Tien up here on top.
Yeah, still though, the Shy having so much vision. It seems like SOFM actually not going to play for his bot lane at all. Is just going to constantly look to cover the Shy and make sure the Shy doesn't fall behind, having confidence that his bot lane can just outright win in the 2v2. And that, I mean, if you're matching pressure coming out from enemy mid-jungle, right, I mean, you could theoretically just win everywhere. The thing they got to be careful of now is covering for top could become a bit more annoying, considering that Knight now has that Weaver's Wall coming through, so it could very quickly just become a 3v2, where Angel's nowhere close to being able to follow up.
Yeah. You can see the Shy, he desperately wants level 6, and they know it on the side of top esports. Tien is spending an awful lot of time here. He's not losing anything in real kind of sense. He now has access to the Dragon's Rage kick as SOFM has joined up. He knows that something is up. The ultimate misses completely wide, and they're going to back themselves away. They might look to try and re-engage this one. SOFM feeling confident as the Shy hits 6, but everyone just backing themselves away. With that big ultimate down, top esports, they know they can't lock him down for long.
Oh, On though. Might be getting collapsed on from both sides.
Oh, Knight's there. On's probably going to have to flash here once he sees the seismic shove. And that's exactly what he ends up doing. A little bit unfortunate there. Tien
We're
is still
here?
topside.
What?
We're still here. Still a 2v2. And now we'll finally get a full fight coming out. The Shy does have access to his ultimate. There's the Heartbreaker down. To try and disengage. The Dragon's Rage used as well. Mark gets caught out by a great hook. And they're going to try and use the Fate's Call. Completely whiffs on it. But I don't think it matters. As Mark is going to be going down. Very easily done there by the Weibo bot lane. There's been action all this time, but at 7:45 we will have first blood.
Huge coming out from the side of Weibo. Their bot lane has been delivering. Tien caught up by SOFM.
Ooh, Tien, SOFM thought about it. He had Angel in tow, but would have been a bit risky considering Knight was there with the Weaver's Wall. Could have ended up getting separated. But again, Weibo kind of going toe-to-toe, calling a lot of top esports bluffs. And with this lack of jungle attention from both sides in bot lane, it's just Huanfeng and On who own the lane.
Yeah, just benefiting from the matchup, from the level 1 especially, that was able to come through and just cement their lane control going forward. TS are able to win out the top side in that skirmish, kind of like we theorized coming out, just with the picks that they have coming through. But still, they weren't able to find kills. They just were able to get one plate, and it sets up to where On makes the rotation first towards topside, and Weibo will get the first Herald. So they're able to keep just hammering on this lead. And even topside, right, where the Shy has been getting focused, he's still up about 11 CS. So everywhere Weibo are winning, we're going to go instantly into the replays. It just looks like Mark in an unfortunate position as Jackulov makes it back to lane with On wrapping around from the corner. Doesn't matter if the Fate's Call doesn't end up knocking him up. You still have enough damage and CC between the two members, and Mark goes down.
The bailout just delaying the inevitable right now, and Weibo have themselves about 1,000 gold lead as we come up to about 10 minutes. Still no dragon taken, despite the first herald of the game being secured by Weibo as well. Knight, though, with TN in tow, saying, look, we've got ourselves a Weaver's Wall. We might be able to make something work here. They're going to look for a dragon themselves. This is a good proactive play from Top Esports. They had the push in bot. They have got the resets from mid, and they're going to be able to pick themselves up their first drake.
Yeah, great by TS to finally be able to find, you know, something on the map. Feels like that'll be the only real leeway they'll have anytime soon. I think finding ganks in mid could be quite hard against Lissandra, who not only has some mobility, but just having the CC to be able to lock you down and then setting her up for the escape. We've already seen top. It feels like top, if they can execute correctly, is On.
Oh, Mark. He thought he had the handshake, but sadly was not to be done. And that's going to be Mark without his splash. We've seen how easy he is to take down. And Mark, if he gets caught out by a dredge line, will be in a lot of trouble now. Moonlight Vigil comes out just to try and maybe put down some health bars and clear this wave. But Top Esports, they're trying in this bot side. It's just not quite sticking.
Yeah, I feel like throwing that out, trying to chunk them a little bit low, wanting to back off. Because, I mean, Huanfeng's ult would definitely be back up again, as we could see. And On just hitting level 6 as well. With Mark having blown that flash, he is a sitting duck. And it feels like any time they even walk up to a neutral position in the wave, that Mark will just be dead. So they're going to keep leaving their bot lane down there. Knight's hovering.
He's looking for it. Yeah, might be. Tien, though, is going to find himself in the 3v2. They flash in. They get the Frozen Tomb down. He is bursted out. Now, the Sejuani is here. They've already got the tanking going up. It's between them, three of them. They should be able to do this. Absolutely beautiful stuff coming out here from Weibo. And that's going to be 3 kills to none. Top Esports, they're looking a little bit dry.
Yeah, Top Esports getting punished on both sides of the map so far. And, I mean, for Weibo, the fact that they just kind of knew they could commit to covering top early, like, sure, we're not necessarily going to find any kills, but we'll scale up. We'll be able to win out on the bot side. We'll be able to get some gold back in terms of things like the Herald, and then just be able to commit Angel to this top side play. They dropped a wave, had man advantage, were able to get it done. Has just been beautiful. We see here Tien waiting in the wings. They don't even, no hesitation.
No.
Weibo. Flash right into the CC. Wayward left all on his lonesome. The Shy still has his ultimate as well, so you feel really fine looking to tank this turret and commit to the dive. And all you lost for it was 1 play in mid tonight.
Yeah, 1 plate, 2 flashes, and 2 kills. And this is kind of why we're seeing Weibo just put such a priority on this Viego. You can see just how comfortable SOFM is on it and how proactive he can be. We talked about it as that when SOFM is being proactive, when he's moving around the map looking for opportunities, that's when this team tends to do well. But he's going to get caught out a little bit here, kicked back, and might be in a hell of a lot of trouble. Jackulov picks himself up a kill, and that's a nice opportunistic moment there for Top Esports.
Yeah, Top Esports will take anything they could get at this point. Only 1.5k gold down, but still, the amount of control that Weibo have had on the map has been immense, and now dropping it down this Rift Herald in mid lane, going to try and give some gold over to Angel, break more plates down, extend that lead even further as the Shy.
I mean, he could end up dying here. He is definitely going to die here. You got to feel like one more Arctic Assault should be enough to do it. Does Wayward want to go under? He does, and he picks himself up. And this is kind of the duality of the Shy. He will be your angle and your devil.
I wish we could have seen how it started off. One bong.
Well, we're going to see how this one starts off. Jackulov flashes away, but they're going to fully commit to this one. The cleanse comes out, but it's a little bit late. But On's underneath the tower, and he goes down. They trade it 1 for 1, but you got to feel like that's a good trade for Jackulov.
Yeah, I mean, Jackulov gets the kill right when he's so far behind, so he's happy, but still,
You have no flash here, Huanfeng. You're dead, and there's not really a lot else you can do about it. The seismic shove does enough, and that's going to be Knight just finally making his presence known around the map.
Yeah, if that didn't happen, I feel like you could have felt okay as Huanfeng, because you're like, cool, at least I can force in the wave. And then, like, we traded 1 for 1, but the animated carry died. He also lost a wave of golden XP. But now with the fact that Knight comes down, picks up a kill, and now makes the reverse happen, definitely favoring the side of TS. So TS showing they are not down and out just yet, and with 50 seconds until Dragon, very close to Rift Herald, you know something's going to come through. But now we get to see how all of this goes down. We see the Q does land. Just my God.
Just runs him down.
Yes. And I don't know why this is so surprising at this point, because we literally see this every Sejuani game, right? We see this every Sejuani game where Sejuani connects everything. You have like max HP damage coming out from the passive, just pretty decent base damages all around. So much CC able to come through, especially in a long lane like that. Comes out ahead. And I feel like this kill's way more straightforward, right? They committed, they dove. On tanking so many turret shots to allow the kill to be able to come through, and then Knight, of course, following up. But both sides so far, both picking up 3 mythics, so we're at least not too far out of like the realm of, you know, top esports being down and out. Definitely very close. And Dragon and Rift Herald coming up at the same time, Machine. We get to see where teams prioritize.
Well, looks like you can already see where the junglers heading towards the the Dragon, excuse me. That is going to be the priority here. Tien's going to start off just at the moment, but they haven't gotten full vision control or any real kind of a semblance of control, excuse me, as they do end up pressing this one down. TV's going to come in, but very late, and honestly, they might try and look for the re-engage. This is just going to be Mark sacrificed for the good of the Dragon stacking. Top Esports will get themselves onto the second Dragon. They do sacrifice their support to make it happen, but they need to try and find an inside track here to make sure they can defend their mid-tier 1.
Yeah, they're trying to get over here. Wait, are we going to go for this?
I mean, they're looking, they're hunting. There's 5 members here, and Sejuani hasn't moved. Sejuani doesn't have TP either, so they're not quite afraid of this one just yet, but Weibo not able to make a stick. I will say, though, with the Shy hitting level 11 very shortly, they should be able to take down this turret, which is almost going down, but they've traded it so far. Flash and a cleanse from Knight as a hook comes in on the Jackie low. They get the ultimates comboed up just a little bit too much, and they end up taking down the Aphelios. Tien flashes over the wall. He smites for some help, but he will not fall until the Viego does join on top of him. Knight trying to defend his turret, but nothing he can do, and while that's been happening, Wayward's playing PvE.
Wayward, like you said, sticking up to the top side. I think TS just thought that the engage wouldn't have been able to come through. The fact that it's dive, you still have 3 members around in mid. It was taking so long for the side of Weibo. As SOFM now needs to be careful. Should be fine getting out. But yeah, I think TS are just assuming that, you know, they could have outplayed the situation. They were under tower. They were fine. Weibo coming out and at them from so many different angles, starting off with On's flash, forcing Knight to flash away, instantly a hook into Jackie Levitt, Angel following through magnificently to make sure he goes down. On the opposite side, Tien tries to get onto Wanfang, but you're jumping in to 4 members because On was already out, so he just pretty much gave up his life himself. And even had he not gone down, right, like you're just trading summoners and all these things for a play that realistically doesn't even look like it can work out. As it seems like maybe I've lost Sheen.
No, you haven't lost me. I just forgot to unmute after I sneezed. I did this yesterday as well. It happens, okay?
I was ready. I was ready!
You're always ready for a solo cast. You really want to do, like, the funny thing is that you'll do it and you'll be like, I did a solo cast, and then you'll immediately go into our chat. It's like, I never want to do that again. That was so hard.
Whoa,
I'm so exhausted.
That is
and then
not
a week
what I
later,
do.
and then a week later, you're just like, that was sick. I'm so happy I did that.
What I do is I go into the chat and tell all of you how much superior
that is, you know what,
I
that
am
is
for
true.
for having done. See, my ego massive after those moments, which is what I want, and you've ruined it. But hey, we can't talk about that because SOFM is just gonna walk away and tell Wayward to have a nice day, sir.
Yeah. Tips the cap, on you go, no problem at all. We did see Top Esports drop the Rift Herald into mid, so they have cracked back the mid lane turrets. So the map's getting a little bit wider, a little bit harder to control on all fronts as the Shy with level 11 is going to start pushing himself in a side lane, becoming a bit of a nuisance. And he is getting to a point where he will become a little bit untenable, someone you cannot contain solo, and you will have to commit multiple resources to stopping him from split pushing.
Yeah, no, they need to do that even right now. He's definitely strong enough to beat out anyone in the 1v1. But Weibo, they don't even care about that. They're collapsing.
They're collapsing. TP's going to come in. Sejuani's going to be in a little bit late. They're trying to go in with the hostile takeover to disengage. There's Wayward coming in. They do catch him out, but it is going to be the Fate's call to bring him back after getting the KL ultimate. But what? Why would you go back in? You had no safety, and now everyone one from Weibo's got to back away. Top Esports gifted an opportunity, as we can see the Weaver's wall to try and separate Knight. He can't get back to his house, his home, and everything else. He's going to be forced to flash, but right into the waiting arms of this Sejuani. Wayward is just frontlining right now, and the Shy can't really go anywhere else. Wayward gets his second kill. Top Esports, it's too early for the Baron, but they get themselves several kills.
I feel like we saw both supports completely flop there. Luckily for Mark, his was just, you know, a very unimpressive ultimate. Hits no one. The angle's kind of weird. For On, though, like you said, what was that choice? Weibo wanting to look for this, needing to back off. Tien coming through with the kick. But sadly, I mean, Hostile Takeover not doing anything for Mark. Again, I feel like Mark having a really bad game. But yeah, I mean, he just misses the knockup. But still, I feel like even if you do connect, I feel like that's a fight that the Top Esports still find that initial kill and then will be able to take. Weaver's wall comes through, leaves the Shine in an awkward place where he has to flash, and still ends up close enough in range to where the rest of TS can run them down. But I feel like more importantly, Dragon coming up in 12 seconds, both teams wanting to fight this.
I mean, Day6 can still Dragon. We're going to see a full-on engage. Wayward going in, has got access to the Glacial Prison should he want to. That's a great Ring of Frost there from Angel to try and dissuade everyone from Top Esports from helping out their top laner. It's fight after fight. It's Mojo versus Mojo, as both these teams are looking for blood. So that's OFM on the flank, trying to see if he can catch someone out. But look at this little clump of death from Top Esports. They're very healthy, and they know what damage they have available to them. There is a ward, so they know exactly who's on this side of the Dragon. Top Esports looking to try and re-engage this one. Angel maybe on a one-way mission, a suicide mission, if he can flash in on top of the carries. And exactly what he's gonna do! Gets on top of Jackulov as the Dragon goes over to the side of Weibo. It's stolen, and they continue to try and make this fight work for themselves. Finally, the Fate's Call does land, and Jackulov is the only one left standing. He flashes in with a great Moonlight Vigil, gets himself two. Knight, though, with a cleanse. Maybe enough here as On flashes forward, gets the dredge line, the golden status of Knight. Will he be able to fight this one back? It's so close!
Oh, he does!
Knight is a monster! He's doing it! Knight, you're a god!
What was that coming out from Knight? Still goes down in the end, but my God, brings the team fight back for the side of Top Esports. I can't believe that. That was a 4v5.
Unbelievable there from Knight. That was absurd, and it keeps the game close. Yes, it's a 3,000 gold lead, but Lyric, break this down to me, because it looks like Top Esports shouldn't be contesting this, but they go for it.
Yeah, they go for it because they still have Hostile Takeover from Mark. They think that can dissuade the other members and not have to worry about any flanks. But Angel still gets so much done, especially with the ultimate coming out from the Shy. Tien trying to secure the Dragon left in an awkward place, but Jackulov here guarantees 2 kills. Flashes forward, kills the Shy. Moonlight Vigil comes out, and this was just absolutely insane. Stun coming through. Huanfeng was also stunned on the stones left down by Knight, so he couldn't get any closer any more quickly. And then coming out, flashing away from Huanfeng once again, stunning him to guarantee the kill comes through. Finds the last kill on the On before the Ignite comes through to make sure that he goes down with him.
Oh my God, Knight, time and time again. Just
we love the LPL, buddy.
Yeah, he's in the LPL. Shy, though, might be going back to the great screen. Honestly, they could fully commit to this. Wayward, come on, buddy. But it does not matter that he misses his ult, because they have enough damage there with Knight. 4-1-4 on this Talia. I mentioned in Sham Select, but this pick is becoming a speciality of Knights, and Top Esports are reaping the benefits from it.
I've already made this reference once before on cast, but I still gotta say, man, I feel so bad for Xmithy getting so much like crap over one ult when like Wayward's ults repeatedly every time he picks
Wayward
Sejuani.
emotes, and that's the difference. Wayward emotes, and everyone's just like, he was trolling. It doesn't matter.
Every time I've seen Wayward play Sejuani, like he looks for solo kills, does well in lane, like has some like good team fight moments, but always misses at least 4 to 5 ultimates in a game. But hey, that's
minimum.
He's not afraid to throw them out, and that's why at some point he'll hit one that is incredibly high impact.
Yeah, absolutely. You miss all the shots you don't take, as the saying goes. But now Top Esports with that pick on the bot lane means they are only about just over 2,000 gold behind. Weibo trying to just scale themselves up. They've got a Rift Maker alongside the 2 items of the Kalista. Very powerful moment here, and you can see the gold right now. It's Knight versus Huanfeng. They're the carries of their team. Knight with 3 items so far on this Talia, already at level 14 as well. Top Esports, they're thinking about maybe they can try and catch someone out. SOFM 6-0-1, funny enough, is still doing very well for himself and needs to be feared.
I mean, one person going down, one reset could just lead to SOFM completely taking over the game, like we saw from both Kanavi and Klid doing in the last series. So TS definitely have to be careful. Hopefully we don't see Wayward maybe going a little bit too aggressive like he did in the last fight, because definitely feels like you're not in the position to where, I mean, if you can just make sure that Knight and Jaculov are untouched, that you have the damage to be able to take down Weibo. You have the CC to lock them down, as we saw from Huanfeng getting locked down numerous times in the last exchange. So for TS, they have all the tools that's needed. We just need to not see those mistakes come through, even if they are a little bit behind in gold. Dragon gonna come up in a minute's time. That would put Top Esports on the sole point. So Weibo trying to get some vision down now towards the top side objective. Maybe kind of pull Top Esports out of the base, make them clear that, pivot down towards the bot side, and start setting your own vision down for the Dragon.
And setting down your own vision for the Dragon. It is only a second Drake for Weibo. Would be sole point for Top Esports. And honestly, and Mountain Drake, very, very valuable for both sides, having that extra survivability. Even if Weibo get 2 or 3 Dragons stacked up, those extra resistances in the later stage of the game could be very significant, considering there's a hell of a lot of burst available to Top Esports. Would mitigate that quite a bit. With both teams now setting ourselves up, Lyric, we're going in again. It's going to be a 5v5. I didn't expect them to take that Glacial Path for Angel, as do not have the Shy with them just yet, but Top Esports, they're back in the ball of death.
Yeah, they're trying to find this one. SOFM, though, playing off to a flank. He's on vision, so they do spot him out. Jaculov's flash is just about to be up, so if they could buy 15 more seconds, they'll have a lot more safety to play with.
Yeah, all summoners would be available once Jaculov's flash is back up, which should be there in a second.
5 seconds.
Now, Top Esports, they don't want to start this one just yet, and Weibo are allowing it. Weibo are probably assuming it's up, and there it is. They've got access to full barrel of flashes. As Top Esports, they actually separate SOFM in the pit. He hasn't really got anyone to go with. Angel goes in with the Glacial Path and goes straight into Stasis. Mark gets caught out, but it's a great hostile takeover, which is immediately cleansed by Huanfeng. It is going to be Mark going into the bailout as he finally gets taken down. That's Kale picking up the first kill. Look at the Shy on the backside of this fight. The Shy is untouched, and the Shy is putting in damage. It's going to be 2 kills, 3 kills, maybe even 4. 5 for nothing, and that is a full ace coming out for Weibo.
And now Weibo can so easily turn to the Baron, having every member up. Angel has TP, so after he pushes this wave, he can recall and join the squad. And for TS, I just don't know how it happened. Knight ending up by himself in the back of the pit, getting taken down by the Shy. When he was the big carry stepping up, the Shy taking down so many members. Weibo should be able to launch into a huge gold lead off this, start breaking down tons of turrets, especially from the side pressure that the Shy can put up. But going straight into the replay, we'll see. Knight's going to start it off with the Weaver's Wall to try to break them apart, focus only the Dragon, and focus down SOFM. But Angel zoning off 3 members, Knight, Mark, and Jaculov taken down. But then Knight left in this kind of awkward position between the members of Weibo, and left between a rock and a hard place. The Shy on one side, SOFM on the other. The Shy able to bring it through. And for Top Esports, right, they were trying so hard to play, like you've been saying, that death ball composition, where it's like, stick together, front to back team fight. When it breaks off into like a series of like chaotic skirmishes like that, Weibo's composition definitely feeling a lot better, especially champions like Kalista being able to just jump around, the Viego as well with his ultimate. So Weibo, just kudos to them with how that fight ended up playing out.
And the Shy is 1 wave away from level 16, even at a Banshee's Veil alongside him. So he is very much hitting that big late game carry that we all know and love. And for Weibo, 8,000 gold lead now. They have got priority over all of these waves. I will say you are still very short ranged on a lot of side of Weibo, so it's very hard for them to actually siege down these turrets. Even with a Baron, which helps, it's still not going to be perfect.
You know, if they just go in, dive them under turret, and say, you know what? Screw sideways, screw playing the map correctly, and just go, it can be done. You just Angel E in, pop your ulti, kill everyone. Simple.
I mean, it's as simple as that. That's all it is to it. And this, you know, fantastic game of League of Legends that we call our job.
That's like every player interview we get ever. It's like, oh, so how'd you win that game? Well, you just play better. You just play good.
Yeah,
So,
it's like, or like if you get the LEC version of like, yeah, no, that guy was kind of inting, so like I just won. And it's just like, cool, thanks. It's always my favorite thing when you get perks and stuff, just saying like, you know, that's kind of int, so yeah, no, I just win that trade. It's like, cool, thanks, man. That's really good insight. But with 2 towers now down, 1 in mid, 1 in bot, you can see Top Esports, they are desperate to try and make sure they don't lose their inhibitors. If they don't get their base cracked open, they will have survived the first onslaught, but already 10,000 gold down, Weibo making their presence known in this game 1.
and Weibo, I mean, huge so far. We talked about the volatility of Top Esports to where Weibo just feel like they have been ramping up so far, but the Shy might be caught out.
He might be caught out, but Wayward will take a lot of damage here. They're going to try and jump back on top of him. There's a good kick. That was so big. Brain from TN. He waited until the Lissandra was there, so he knew he could get the knock up. That was huge.
Yeah, and straight into the Renata ultimate for Mark as well. Mark, a player who's been struggling in this game, finally able to find a huge, impactful ultimate, but all of it coming from the setup from TN, who also feels like he's had a rough game, but TN, so far this split, I feel like has been strong. Great to see a flare of that excellence again in this play, and we'll just kind of see how it all pans out. Top Esports, I mean, Top Esports map is so small, right? They're playing at the limits of their base, so they're like, okay, we don't care about top, we don't care about mid, commit to this. Like, so the Tien goes for the kick once Angel comes over the wall, straight into the hostile takeover, and just sets up for 2 members to go down. And once Knight joins in with the Weaver's Wall, SOFM forced to flash as well. A lot of summoners, a lot of spells used in that fight. The Top Esports coming out ahead.
I mean, Lyric, it's 50 seconds until Dragon time. That's, you know what that means. We're going to have another full 5v5. I love these two teams. They are not afraid. They are unhindered. But you've got to take a note of some of the big summoners right now and even some of the big items. You've got Stopwatch on top of Tien and Jackie Love. Oh, never mind. I'm going to stop myself right there as Om goes in. He gets chunked out very low, but he immediately goes into the Fate's Call, and they're going to be able to take down Mark. Mark goes down, followed by the Sejuani. Flash away by Jackie Love keeps him safe. Tien is off to the side, but is still Weibo looking very strong. SOFM still hunting down this Lee Sin, but Tien, he can't really walk near this pit.
No, and it seems like Top Esports know the plan is to just abort. We can't fight them. They have numbers advantage. Whoa, Tien?
Yeah, Tien might be in a little bit of trouble. He is delaying it quite a bit. SOFM is going to get 1v1'd until it turns into a 3v1, and that's going to be another kill, staggered death timers, and the Dragon for Weibo. It's starting to feel a little bit harder, a little bit impossible for Top Esports. The scaling and just the kind of, team fight prowess of this Weibo gaming lineup is just proving too much.
I do gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised that Angel decided to commit to the flash for that kill on Tien, but like you're saying, the pressure just too much on starting this fight off, just really having no fear of the damage, able to come out from the side of TS. Instantly, Mark goes down, and then all the spears stacked into Wayward. Rend comes through, the Shy free hitting the whole time. And then, I mean, here's where it looked like for the side of TS, hey, we need to back off, but sadly, Tien caught recalling in the enemy jungle, ends up going down as well. So, I mean, 10k gold lead, right? This should definitely be a game that goes over to Weibo, but can they close? Top Esports only need one lucky smite on a dragon to be able to guarantee soul. But for Weibo, it seems like play up towards top side, look for these picks in enemy jungle. If you could find one, you could try and convert that into a Baron and just end the game without even thinking about that next dragon.
Oh, he gets caught, but they completely miss Wayward's ultimate. SOFM needs to completely disengage. The kick is good onto Angel. Hostile takeover. It's fantastic. And that catches out everybody. It's a double kill coming in for Knight. They get 3 more. The Weaver's Wall says, you are not leaving here. You are trapped, and you shall have to commit every bit of resources that you thought you had to get away. Another fantastic move from Top Esports, but Weibo, they're just throwing it a little bit away.
I mean, poor Weibo must be so annoying. You're constantly walking into all 5 members of TES holding hands. They do everything as a unit. It's so depressing to me that Wayward could have such egregious ultis this game, still be rewarded thanks to likes of the hostile takeover coming out from Mark, Knight then throwing out his full combo to get the damage down, the Moonlight Vigil layered on top of it, and now this is turning into a Baron for the side of TS. I was just saying how this is Weibo's game to win, that they should just be able to close it out easily. And Top Esports showing why I shouldn't say anything. Get Ox on.
Ox gonna get the ruler out onto Wayward in a bit. He's got high expectations for this guy, but you can see here SOFM just doesn't respect that. Like you said, Top Esports are playing as a death ball, and you have to recognize that's just how they're playing.
Yeah, and right there, the hostile takeover coming out.
Oh my
straight
God.
into the Moonlight Vigil. Angel as well being kind of kept at bay by Tien, who was 1v1ing him. And then this Weaver's Wall forcing on an ultimate and a flash. Like, my God, Top Esports got so much out of that fight.
Yeah, they got so much to the point of which it's now a 5,000 gold lead. It was 10,000, it's now 5,000. That's how much of a swap of gold there was. And this is why, honestly, it does feel like you're seeing the limitations of Weibo's comp. You're at a level 17 KO, 4 items. It doesn't matter. If Top Esports don't play the sidelines, they don't let you just slowly build out these big waves and get towers, you have to fight them. And honestly, Felios and a Tadia have just got more options than a Callista and a Alessandra.
Like, for TS, if they get those sort of grouped up team fights that we just saw, their comp just has so much AoE damage, right? Both the Felios and Talia, tons of AoE. You can just nuke numerous carries. It's just all up to if Mark and Wayward can set that up, or if they're the ones who start the fight on their terms, right? Because we've seen a lot of times that Weibo are typically the ones, like, on going forward, throwing out the hook. He's tanking everything, so TS don't really have multiple key targets to throw those abilities out on. You can really just throw them out on, and even if on goes down, you have used enough to where Weibo can win the fight. So I still feel like it could be a little bit tough for TS, though it feels like this game is kind of back to 50-50 in terms of it is anyone's ballpark to win, but we need to see similar setups to what we saw from TS last time.
Crazy thing is, despite SOFM getting caught out in that last fight, he's still 7-0-4. Still unkilled and absolutely massive.
Still a stopwatch that isn't broken.
Yeah, I was going to say, he still has a stopwatch as well for the next potential fight. This would be soul point for Weibo or soul for Top Esports. And already Top Esports setting themselves up in that mid lane. Angel setting himself up on the flying. Kong gets flicked back, but he's got himself two items, actually, excuse me, and a stopwatch. So he's actually in a pretty decent state in terms of health. So he should be fine to kind of take 1 or 2 more of those trades. He won't want to, but he's all right to do it if he gets caught.
Yeah, has stopwatch. We already hit on SOFM stopwatch. And then the GA coming out for Huanfeng could be a difference maker. But Jackie Love having one of his own. Both AD carries feeling incredibly safe. The big difference is Flash is on the side of Weibo. Huanfeng's is down.
Ooh, look at those crits. 1,000 damage on Jackie Love. He is online and ready to party. Even got a little bit of a crit cloak just in the inventory before anything else. Now the Dragon's going to be spawning in 20 seconds. Lyric, it looks like Top Esports have control over the area for now, but Angel's on a bit of a flank.
Yeah, again, keep Wayward in front, play out, look for the huge AoE abilities to come through. On probably going to look for the hook. You know that's your time, but Angel, if Angel can find that same zoning,
they're going to go for it there. They're going to try and look for it. Angel's on the backside of this. They don't know exactly where he is, and now he finds himself his mark. He gets kicked back and goes straight into the frozen tomb. Keeps himself safe and alive. There's a hostile takeover there, but the Shy, again, is untouched. These health bars are getting low, but nobody's going down just yet. There's a lot of stasises. There's a lot of GAs. There's a lot of people finally falling. As Diego gets killed off, but the Shy goes big. Eventually gets taken down. Tien is there, but Jackie Love is bigger, and Jackie Love will push through Weibo, and they can look for the end.
Top Esports playing around their carry, peeling for Jackie Love. He takes down his ex-top laner, and like you said, somehow Top Esports bring it back, and looks like they're gonna take the game.
It looks like it. You've got Angel here. About 20 seconds until really, about a little bit more than that, until anyone else is really here to defend. Angel, it's all on you. Are you going to be the Guardian Angel or the Angel of Death for Weibo? We'll have to wait and see. Wayward is low, but he lands the one ultimate that matters for Top Esports. He finally hits the mark, and that's Top Esports on the most unlikely of circumstances going 1-0 up in this series.
What was that game? Like, you're right about the last ulti. I guess Wayward finally connected the ulti when it matters. Even TS find it hilarious. Even they're laughing. What is this? What is this machine?
Again and again.